Yesterday, a few friends of mine, they did 1008 Surya Namaskar. That's the sun greeting for the yoga lovers listening right now, or not listening right now. And I'm always very intrigued when people choose to commit to something like that, because they know it's going to hurt at some point. And they do this. Why? Why do you think they do this? Because you want to do something you have never been doing before? Yes, indeed. What is the thing that people are trying to achieve? They're achieving change, growth. Yes, what else? Coming out of the comfort zone? Yes, really doing something they have never been doing before. Growing. And that's what goals are for, isn't it? People think that goals are for reaching a specific thing. Yet, the goals are set up for growth. In 2017 and 2018, decided to go for a marathon because I could already run 5K. And one of my friends, and I was thinking of aiming for 20K because that was a goal that I think that I was able to do, right? So I chose that one. And my friend, she says like, see ya, I am going to run a marathon. And I was like, why would you do that? Literally made no sense at all. And I gave it a thought, and I asked my trainer. I was running during the week together in a group, and so I asked him like, okay, how much time do you need to train for a marathon? And he was like, 19 weeks, depending on what you're able to do. So I was like, okay, I can run 5K. Do you think you can train me till then? He said, yeah, sure. Okay, so when I heard him saying, yes, you're able to, I trusted him straight away. And I said, okay, let's do this. So I let my friend know I'm in for this as well. So I registered for the marathon, and then the decision was made. And why did I decide to do that? Or let me state it better. Let me share with you all the benefits that I experienced when training for a marathon, and then we can take that to other areas as well. Because first I knew I needed to train with a trainer. I needed someone who was holding me accountable. I needed someone who I could rely upon, that knew what he was doing, and I would receive guidance from him. He was the professional trainer, and I know when I'm surrounded by professionals, I am most likely going to get to my goal. Seriously. And so that was it. I received a trainings plan and I committed to it. I literally committed to it. That was my Bible, and also not only the runs, but then also the stretchings. And I got to understand so many things about the body. Our body is capable of so much more than what we use our body for. And I read that it's only used for 40% of what we do. 40%. So I got to understand myself as well, that when I train for something, my body is able to do it. Isn't this amazing? It is. And because, Right now, you're not able to run 42K, but when you train, you are. Imagine the growth that comes with it, the margins you have on your physical level. And I came to understand that these margins are not only there on the physical level, it's there on the mental area, in the mental area, and it's there in the spiritual area. Body, it's always body, mind, and soul, right? Other benefits. I got time to spend for myself. At that time, my children were much younger, and I was a stay-at-home mom. Not anymore. I had some moment in my life that I left the corporate world and was very, 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 very grateful to spend this time with my children. And some years before, I decided to be a visual artist. Literally, any free time that I had, free time with young children, went to my art. And I noticed there was not a lot of free time, so there wasn't a lot of time to spend for my art. And I was looking for ways how to come closer to myself, how I was able to connect to myself, how I was able to prioritize myself, how I was able to get in shape. So when I knew when I get in shape for the marathon, then I know I will focus better with my mind. And that was literally also the situation, the result. And so I did it for focus. Another reason why I did it for was to prioritize myself, because when you had children, your body changed a lot, and I wanted to get it back in shape, and I wanted to connect to healthy food again, literally show up to myself on the physical level. So that was another reason. And another reason for doing this was literally having time for myself, with a young family, 3 children, taking a lot of, actually most of the tasks for everything running in the house, and then also being an entrepreneur. When you're starting out, I needed to have some time out. And this way, when I started running or training for it, I literally discovered that I literally was having the time to listen to audiobooks. And I discovered Eckhart Tolle, and I listened to his book, The Power of Now. And that was literally like a big opener for me on my spiritual process. Another big advantage of training for a marathon was that I needed to be extremely focused. I needed to be determined. I needed to be consistent. I needed to have persistence. And I came to understand later on, when I jumped into self-development as a mentor, as a coach, literally what we apply for ourselves to train for a specific physical activity, we apply exactly the same routines, the same methods, the same repetition, the same consistency, the same persistency, the same focus when it comes to reaching our goals. Isn't that beautiful? Because what I see for many people when they start the spiritual realm and they talk to me asking like, hey, are you able to help me? And when it's clear this is something for them, and when it's clear they're ready and committed and serious about their goals, then there's a lot of objections coming up. And oftentimes it's the money. Oftentimes it's, I don't have time for this. Oftentimes it's, well, right now it's not the right timing because that's going on, that's going on. And it's just like when you decide to train for a marathon, you just do it. The date is set, you just give it your all and you're focused. So when you decide to step into the connection to yourself and the self-realization and everything that comes to it, it's a decision. And then you start the process. And sure, there's a lot of material outside that is rather unclear and it's not practical. And I'm a person who is needing practical tools to guide myself. If people would approach their goals just like a marathon, they need to train for it, they get themselves a coach, or not. One of the other benefits of training for a marathon is when I was receiving or getting injured, he was able to help me. So for the first marathon I trained, I was actually training by marching. So from December, January, I started marching until the end of February, beginning of March. And only from the beginning of March, I started switching to running. And the marathon was the half of April. So these were things that, I wasn't able to do for myself at all. I'm so grateful that the time that I focused on training for a marathon was not sacrificed by me not investing in a trainer who knew what he was doing, and I knew that I could trust him, that he was telling me things, and I literally knew, okay, when he says so, I trust him and I do it. And that paid off because I could run the first marathon. I even could do a negative split. Can you imagine negative split, what it is? You run the whole time a specific pace. So, and then at some point from kilometer 37, you just gear up, you run faster. So negative split means that the last 5K you run faster than the 37K before. And why is that? Because you were running at a specific pace that you were still having energy in your muscles. You didn't overdo it from the beginning. So you were running at a pace that was comfortable. So you knew at the end you could give it your all for this 45 kilometer. And that's also how we should approach life, We keep a specific pace. We take care, we don't burn ourselves right from the beginning. And we take care, we're able to complete, we're able to finish. And when you have to eat in between, then you do. And when you have to drink in between, when you do. You have to pause to go to the toilet, then you do. All these things, the sleeping, the patterns, the changing of your body, the physical improvement, the mental improvement, thinking clear, being very focused, knowing also very well what to do and what not to do. I took many decisions during running a marathon because I was having all this clarity. I was having a lot of clarity, and for specific things, I gained that clarity through training because I was, bringing a lot of oxygen into my brain, and my brain was able to connect fast, and I was able to decide fast, and I was able to follow up, and I was able to all those things that make you successful when you want to reach your goals. One of the other reasons to train for a marathon is also to literally to have that goal and work towards it, and to give it your all, and to literally do something that you never have been doing before. Because all of my life I was saying, like, why would you ever run a marathon? It literally made no sense to me for a very long time, until I needed something that was outside my comfort zone, until I needed something that I was able to focus upon and for growth. I wanted to do things that I never had been doing before. I wanted to rediscover myself, reinvent myself, because I got to know myself so much better, how I was behaving, how focused I was, everything. I got so much clarity on my own behavior, and I could improve myself. I learned so many things on the go. I also got to understand why yoga is so important, because we are always running, swimming, biking, and then the muscles tend to get shorter, but it's also important to stretch the muscle, because otherwise you just turn like this when you grow old. You need to be flexible, and it's not only strength, it's also stability, and it's also flexibility. If you like this video, then give it a like, and there's a bell sign, by the way, so click it, and then you will be notified every time a new video comes up. And I'm very excited to share with you my process. If you want to comment and have your own experiences, please let them know in the comments. I'm very curious to hear about you, about yours, your experiences. And yeah, share this with some other people who are thinking of running a marathon. Then they get contagious. Why? They have their benefits, and they could be inspired. Make sure to subscribe to this channel, because I am dedicated. For those of you who are yearning for change, to get very clear on your soul's calling and how to live that, and what growth is, and how you can change through growth. Because every Tuesday, every Thursday, and every Saturday at 8 a.m. Central European Time, I'm uploading a new video. Alright, talk to you very soon. Bye bye!